It's time for Portland Wrestling 2000s. Now, here he is, your number one host, Frank Culbertson.
Hey wrestling fans, Frank Culbertson here once again on Portland Wrestling 2000. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and like the channel so you don't miss a single moment of action. And stay tuned because at the end of the show, as Tony Khan would say, we have a huge announcement you're not going to want to miss. Before we get to that, tonight we're going to show you Brian Zane from Wrestling With Wregret, who got his start right here in Portland Wrestling and has gone on to a successful wrestling career. But tonight you're going to see him maybe not as successful as he takes on 7'2" Paul Isadora and Mustafa from ECW, as well as Psydsho The Killer Clown. But before we get to Brian, let's go back and look at the very first promo Brian Zane ever did. It's a classic.
What's up, everyone in Portland? This is the Z-Man, Brian Zane. Now, I've only been in the business for about 8 or 9 months, give or take a few days. In that time, I've been chokeslammed twice, face pulled, luxury taxed, bludgeoned with a cookie sheet, thrown into a locker, bound and gagged, threatened with a knife, bitten in the groin, and not in a good way. But you know what? If there was anyone else in my position, a rookie, my young age, they would have all said, that's it, I'm done. I'm done with this, not worth it, I'm gonna get out. But not me, not me. I'm not gonna quit, and you know why? Because I love this business. I have a burning passion for this business. Ever since I was a little kid, a wee little Z-Man, growing up watching the stuff on TV, the old Portland wrestling, the big leagues, all that stuff, I would look at that and I'd say, yes, that's exactly what I want to do when I grow up. Now I know, I go to the U of O, I'm a duck, I'm a college kid, but you know, quite frankly, college is plan B for me. This is what I want to do. Is my dream. And I'm not going to let some big giant guys like Mustafa or that freakazoid Paul Isadora mess up my dream. I'm not going to quit because of that. I'm not going to quit because I'm bitten. I'm not even going to quit because of death threats. It doesn't matter. I'm going to give it my all, 110% every time. So, Portland Wrestling, to all the fans who might doubt me, you know, I don't care how big they are, how strong they are, how crazy they are, no matter what, I'm going to give it my all.
Hey, wrestling fans, as I mentioned, it is an honor to have Brian Zane joining us live from Springfield, Oregon, where he resides. And as you just saw in that video, Brian Zane has always wanted to be a pro wrestler. At least that's what he told us. Brian, is that true?
Well, I mean, up to a certain point, like when I got to a certain age and fell in love with professional wrestling, that's when I decided I want to be a wrestler. But that took about 12 or 13 years before that finally kicked in. So, definitely love the idea of being a wrestler. It's kind of like that song that the Bobs did about Andy Kaufman. He always dreamed of wrestling. He could see himself in the ring, but he wasn't tough enough. And even though I didn't wrestle women, I did try my best. And I tried to, give it the old college try, as they say. And, watching the stuff on this episode this week, you will see that there's a reason I became better known for my talking than my wrestling.
So what was the tipping point for you that said, yeah, because you started doing some camera work for me here in Portland Wrestling. What made you say, I really want to get in the ring?
I mean, I was trying to bide my time. At that moment, I was training with Buddy Rose and Colonel De Beers at their wrestling school. And I had 1, maybe 2 matches under my belt prior to when I started wrestling for Portland Wrestling. And, I think I just asked. I think I bugged Dr. Luther, who was the booker at the time, and he gave me a chance. And the month before that, actually, I was a ring announcer for a dart match. And then like years later, I found that I still had the card for the match, like in my inside pocket on my tux jacket. But then I did that. And then the following month, I started wrestling. And funny story, when I transitioned from cameraman to wrestler, I noticed that I got a bit of a pay cut. So that's when I decided maybe production is the way to go.
Oh, well, that's what, but you were, as a cameraman, you were working hours at a time. In wrestling, you were, as we will see, 7 minutes in the ring.
I definitely didn't get paid by the hour when I was a wrestler. That's for sure.
Well, you mentioned Dr. Luther, Booker, and we are going to go to your first match in Portland Wrestling as Dr. Luther comes to the ring and announces your opponent, and it is Paul Isadora. Let's go to that matchup right now.
This contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first from Portland, Oregon, weighing in at 195 pounds, Brian Zane. Ladies and gentlemen, and from the AOD, Dr. Luther.
Dr. Luther coming to the ring. He is not scheduled to wrestle this matchup. I'm not sure what Dr. Luther is coming to the ring for. This first matchup is supposed to be Brian Zane, but not Dr. Luther. The fans chanting AOD. I'm sure Brian Zane is confused.
Well, there can only be one reason that Dr. Luther is coming to the ring, and that's to raise some kind of havoc or to create some kind of controversy.
Well, he has been talking about since last week that he has a big announcement here for Portland Wrestling, and I'm sure that's what we're about to find out.
That must be it. He's asking for the mic.
Gilbert, as you know, each and every one of these good people are part of the AOD. Isn't that right, Gilbert?
You're correct, Dr. Luther.
Well, the AOD, Mr. Zane, grows stronger and stronger every day. A few weeks ago, we added Skag Rollins. And tonight, I'd like to introduce you to the newest member of the Army of Darkness. 350 pounds, 7 feet tall, Paul Isadora!
Oh, 7 feet tall, 350 pounds. Look at Brian Zane's eyes there, Goss.
Well, the Army of Darkness has been recruiting.
Oh, my goodness. Look at the size of this man, 7 foot tall, 350 pounds. He just stepped over the top ropes. And look at Brian Zane. He wishes he was back in Eugene, Oregon right now.
Oh, wow. You remember who used to step over the ropes like that? Andre the Giant.
Absolutely. Look at the size of this man's shoulders, Don. This is one giant man, the biggest man I think that's hit Portland wrestling since maybe Don Leo, Jonathan.
Wow. Yeah. Well, this is a little more than Mr. Zane bargained for.
Yeah, look at him. He's asking referee Mark Watson if the contract has really been signed. Look, he is very, very hesitant to even lock up against him, Don.
It's like going up against a mountain. I mean, you know, this is
he is not sure he's going to,
but he's going after it. He's going to go for it.
There's one blow that didn't even phase the big man, and another forearm. Look at Brian Zane not knowing what to do. Going to get a little momentum, bounce off the rope, shoulder tackle. Oh my goodness, wow. He bounced halfway across the ring.
See, that's like running into a mountain.
Absolutely. Dr. Luther, Adam Thornstowe, Skag Rollins looking on. A clothesline has no effect. It hit him about belly height.
Yeah, well, he can't reach up for a clothesline.
He can't. Oh, big boot by Paul Isadora. Puts him down. Look at the size of those shoes, Don.
With all due respect, this may be a short match.
The crowd chanting AOD, AOD. Brian Zane, I'm sure a believer very quickly here. Oh, what's he going to? He's setting him up for a choke slam, Don.
Come on. That's not necessary.
He's got him up. Oh, my goodness. Did you see the height at which he threw him down from?
He came down with ice, and that's
there
it.
There it is. There's 1, 2, 3.
That's it.
No. Don, he's not giving up. He wants a 6 count. He wants a 6 count on Brian Zane. There's 3, 4, 5, 6 count. Unbelievable. King Kong Bundy used to ask for a 5 count. Isadora does him one better.
Wow. A 6 count out.
Whoa, look at
Here comes Dr.
I'm impressed, Dr. Luther. I am very impressed.
You should be impressed.
I should be a doctor.
I scoured the earth to get that man.
Well, I'm not sure where he found him. That is one giant. And now he says Gilbert is next. Gilbert not very happy with that at all either. Fans, that is Paul Isadora, the AOD, bigger and stronger than ever, Don.
Absolutely. Well, you got to hand it to him.
Thornstowe with the biggest hammer I've ever seen him carry.
Thornstowe's got a huge hammer.
I'm not sure what is going on, fans. We need.
Take this one.
we're gonna take a quick timeout and go. I understand an interview in the back with Ken Stillwell and Chupacabra. We'll be back with that action. Right?
We got to sort this thing out.
Oh my goodness!
What is?
Let's go to
The
Ken
man's
Stillwell.
already down. He's beaten.
Unbelievable.
This is truly unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
Ah, Christmas. Opening the presents with great expectations. What the? Wouldn't you rather see this? The joy, the glee, the jubilation, dare I say the ecstasy of getting the perfect gift. And what is the perfect gift for the wrestling fan on your Christmas shopping list? Why, it's the Encyclopedia of Portland Wrestlers from the House of Action. So don't fight the crowds at the shopping mall. Instead, order from Amazon. No promise that Mike Rogers will deliver directly to you, but we can try. So get your Christmas shopping done a little bit early. Order on Amazon. It's the Encyclopedia of Portland Wrestlers from the House of Action. It's Santa's #1 requested gift. Okay, so we have just seen you get chokeslammed by 7'2" Paul Isadora. And what was your memories of that match? And we will say, as you were mentioned in other podcasts that you've been on, your facial expressions were absolutely spectacular.
I mean, that's a story. That's what people keep telling me about years later. Is I remember when Paul Isadora came out, you made that face.
50 pounds. Look at Brian Zane's eyes.
You know, people asked me to do it for a bit after that. So that definitely caught on. And then, you know, as far as other memories I have, it's hard to say because I think when he choke slammed me, I saw that like starburst in my eyes. So may have got a concussion, a light concussion in that choke slam. But it didn't stop me. It didn't deter me. I will say the feeling of brief weightlessness, just being up in the air, like 10 or 12 feet, you know, off of Paul's mighty strength was certainly something to behold. And I think it still goes down as one of the best bumps from a choke slam in history because I've never seen someone do a total backflip from a choke slam the way I have before or since. So it was a rude awakening. It was quite a welcome into the business. And, you know, that was my foot in the door. So I guess I had to take it.
Your next match, we're going to show is against Mustafa coming in from ECW and another really big man. What was it like to be in the ring with Mustafa or to know you were going in the ring with Mustafa?
I was a little nervous, but, you know, I had been going against bigger guys in Portland. Like I said, the first match was Paul Isadora and Mustafa Saeed, another big dude. And I went into that with some kind of trepidation, also just knowing that, like, you know, at the time I was so nervous that I was going to screw up because I had been doing that. Honestly, it's at this point. And it's funny because, yeah, Mustafa was a wonderful opponent. He was firm but fair, I guess is the best way to describe him in the ring. He definitely hits hard, but it was probably my favorite match I had in Portland wrestling on account of it's where I looked the best, even though I still wasn't great. But fair, I guess it was still, by my metric, by my standards, it was really awesome.
Well, we'll let the fans decide. I voted awesome, and we'll let the fans decide as we go to that match. It's Brian Zane versus Mustafa from ECW.
This match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first at 275 pounds from South Central LA, the benefactor, Mr. Mustafa.
Here we go. I told you I'll be back.
His opponent at 195 pounds from Portland, Oregon, Brian Zane.
Brian Zane coming to the ring in his favorite school's colors that he comes from, the U of O, college student that he is, making his mark in professional wrestling, or hoping to make a mark professional wrestling. This young man, he tries hard. He's in training. He's practicing. He's working out. He's watching all the tapes. But Jim, Is that going to help him against Mustafa?
You know something, Frank? I think he's going to make a mark on the ring is what's going to happen when he gets in the ring with Mustafa tonight. Mustafa, if there's one match that I am looking forward to on this pay-per-view coming up December 1st, it is the Philly Street Fight, hardcore legend against hardcore legend Mustafa taking on Billy Two Eagles.
Well, Mustafa, you can see he is going right to work on the young man with knees to the midsection, taking advantage of his size. The bandana's already come off, and down goes Brian Zane, I don't think for the first time in this matchup. I'm not going to sell him short, but this is Mustafa, ECW, Philadelphia Street Fighter against Brian Zane.
Think about all of the crazy things that happened in Philadelphia while Mustafa was in ECW. Think about, I don't know that Smoky Mountain Wrestling was ever more chaotic than when Mustafa was there. December 1st, pay-per-view, Billy Two Eagles against Mustafa. If that doesn't sell it, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, we just heard from both Billy Two Eagles and Mustafa. Yeah. Clearly, both men focus. Both men think they're going to come out on top, but both men know this is going to be a brutal, brutal matchup. December 1st, total chaos here on Portland Wrestling. You can order pay Comcast. Watch Portland Wrestling for the exact channel next week here on Portland Wrestling. Go to portlandwrestlingtv.com for all the information. Brian Zane coming back now, blowing chops down on Mustafa. Pretty impressive.
I'll tell you what, anything that Brian Zane can do in the ring against Mustafa, you got to give him credit for that. He is fighting on sheer guts and fortitude here. We'll see how long he can keep this momentum up against Mustafa.
Blows against the big man has slowed Mustafa down, but Mustafa almost the rope-a-dope tactic, and now look at the club, just puts Brian Zane right down.
Oh, that has got to cause some bone spurs in the neck. That was as clubbing a clothesline as you're ever going to see.
Look at the chest of Brian Zane. His whole body is red. Brian Zane bounces off, no movement at all.
I don't think Brian Zane believes that he's actually still standing. I think he's stunned that he's still standing at the hands of Mustafa.
That's too. Brian Zane better go back to his classes at the U of O and learn about some physics and gravity, because he's not going to be putting Mustafa down. Oh, beautiful move by Brian Zane. Smart. Didn't go for the shoulder tackle again, really cut the knee out.
I'll tell you what, Brian Zane earned some credits there in my mind. But think about this, Frank. Essentially, the match with Billy Two Eagles and Mustafa is almost like a title match. There's no belt on the line, but both these guys are vying for the title of the hardcore legend in the Northwest. I can't imagine either one of these guys losing this match, but yet someone's going to come December 1st.
Absolutely, Jim Valley. That is going to be one tremendous matchup on the Total Chaos pay-per-view. Boot to the face, Brian Zane down. He might need to go see the dentist this week after that boot.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what Brian Zane does other than go to school, but I hope he does have health care, because he is going to need it.
He said this is for Billy Two Eagles. He's got him up. Oh.
Almost a brain buster, like with that suplex there, really wrenched the neck of Brian Zane. And
no, he stopped. He will not pin the young man. He could have. Brian Zane clearly has had the wind completely knocked out of him with that suplex. Mustafa says this is for Billy Two Eagles.
He is focused on December 1st, the Total Chaos pay-per-view, and Billy Two Eagles. This is a precursor, fans, of just some of the stuff you can see.
Shoulder breaker moves into the corner, and now he just, oh my goodness.
Oh my.
He almost broke the young man's neck on that one.
I have never seen anyone give shoulder breakers in the turnbuckle before.
Mr. Wow. Mustafa with the victory. Next, we're going to go to probably the storyline that went the longest for you, and that was against a guy we called Psydsho The Killer Clown in Portland Wrestling. Different than a doink clown, but Psydsho, been in the business for a little while. Again, a bigger wrestler. What's your recollection of that storyline?
Yeah, that was my sweet summer series with Psydsho. It was 3 straight shows where I wrestled him in it was an issue where I was trying to get over my fear. He was the clown killer, and I was intimidated. I was a little spooked out. And then there were these times where he wanted me to try and lay into him harder. And whether it was a combination of my youthful naivete or just my lack of ability in the ring, I couldn't give him what he wanted. And, that was a hard thing to overcome. But I think also, being in that program, being in that series of matches with him where I got to show a little bit of my character, even though that time I wasn't still really sure what it was, just getting that chance to express and emote was something that was really cool and something that I wanted to sink my teeth into. And, it was on the whole, even though it was in some ways traumatic for young Brian Zane, I kind of look back on it as an overall positive experience.
Well, we have 2 matches with you against Psydsho coming up here on Portland Wrestling. And some great interviews. We won't tell what happens to you, but there's some misadventures for Brian Zane coming up here on Portland Wrestling YouTube 2000s. Let's go to those matches right now. We'll be back with more with Brian Zane in just a minute.
Brian Zane. Yes, I think I should. Yeah, that is a very good idea. As a matter of fact, I am convinced that is the only way to do it. Wait. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Maybe I can't. Maybe that wouldn't be good. Evidence. This has. If there's a body, there is a conviction. But no. It must be done. I don't know. Everyone just shut up right now! I can't think with all you guys yammering in my ear! No. That's not the way it's gonna go down! Brian, you should probably pray to God or whoever. Shh! I got it, I think. And also, Brian, you should probably sleep with the light on. I like, hey, Mr. Lonely Guy. Hey, Mr. Lonely Guy. Hey, Mr. Lonely Guy. Take my knife. Everybody! Yeah. I'm the master.
This match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first at 195 pounds from Portland, Oregon, Brian Zane. His opponent at 240 pounds from the dark side of the tent, Psydsho.
Fans, there he is from the dark side of the tent. I'm not sure what part of the tent it really is. He doesn't know where he is. That's Psydsho, and he is an insane man. Look,
you're saying he's insane. I don't know if he's insane or Brian Zane is insane for even getting in this ring with Psydsho tonight.
We've just seen Jason Sullivan and destroy people. Now we have Psydsho.
And I've got a bunch of clown noses sitting in front of me.
Look, this man. The crowd responds to him like clowns in a fair, but a spear attempt by Brian Zane. Now Brian Zane just pounding away. Brian Zane, he's completely...
Well, Brian Zane's doing the smartest thing he can. He's trying to bring the pain to Psydsho. The only time Psydsho is happy is when someone's knocking his teeth in.
Well, this is where Brian Zane has made some improvement in his wrestling career that's been awful short here. He is now focused. He's taking advantage. He seems to have tuned out the crowd just a little bit, and he's really in a fight or flight mode after what we have just seen being tied up in the boiler room. He was lucky to escape with his life.
Zane's only chance is to take it to the Psydsho immediately and end this match quick like he did in the last encounter when he rolled Psydsho up, because if it comes down to who can take the most punishment, Zane doesn't stand a chance.
Well, we saw Psydsho. I'm surprised he didn't bring out the big knife that he had back there ripping apart these pictures. Look, a fan tries to hand him something, a little kid, and He just teases the fan. This man is sadistic, Derek.
Actually, the reason he doesn't have the knife is because Butcher stole it in the back.
Another shiny object. I'm glad there isn't a big pile of meat out here this week, Derek.
No, I didn't need to bring it out here. I mean, I have to control that, man. And if it comes down to holding raw meat to get him out of the ring, that's what I'm going to do.
Double clubs by Brian Zane again. He's on like almost a UFC riding position there on top. Of Sideshow just throws him off. The young man goes back in. He's clamped on some sort of reverse chin lock type move, trying to take advantage of Sideshow. The most impressive time I've seen Brian Zane in the ring.
Yeah, but unlike the UFC, the ref's not going to stop the fight early. We're in here for the entire bout, and there's no way in hell Sideshow will ever give up to someone like Brian Zane.
Well, look at Brian Zane's size compared to Sideshow. This is a real advantage for this lunatic clown, if you will, whose matches, of course, are sponsored by Captain Jack's. You need a little tattoo, another piercing, maybe. Captain Jack's the place to go.
Oh! Zane was doing so well, just holding on to the back of Sideshow, because, well, from what I've heard, Brian likes to hold on to the back of guys.
Please, absolutely not. Brian Zane, a fine young athlete.
He's fabulous, from what I've heard.
And Sideshow now in complete control. Look, he's just talking and mocking the young man in the ring.
I'm not sure if he's actually talking to Zane or talking to the little voices of the dead clowns in his head or whatever the hell he's always talking to.
Well, I'm not sure either. I'm telling you, this man has got Brian Zane in a world of hurt, but a good move. This is Brian Zane like we've never seen him before, but the power of Sideshow takes him over. Big body slam.
That's Brian Zane like we know, falling on his back and getting hit in the head.
Later on tonight, don't forget the main event, the Pacific Northwest Heavyweight Championship. Adam Thornstowe and Luster, the Legend of the Cartel, going toe-to-toe inside the squared circle. We're going to get a word with the AOD next here on Portland Wrestling. Sideshow right now really setting up. Look, leg drop after leg drop.
He could actually pin him right now, but I think it's been so long since Sideshow won a match, I don't think he remembers that that's what he's supposed to do to end the actual match. He's just in there to get punched around, kind of like, you'd think he just invested maybe like an S&M expert, something like that.
Sideshow, he's just taking his time climbing to the top rope. We've seen this move before, finish off a number of men. Zane, just falling across the rope, stumbling, if you will. Sideshow in a lot of trouble.
That was pure luck. Zane just happened to be in the right place at the right time and to fall against the ropes to knock down Sideshow.
Now Brian Zane setting him up for some sort of a superplex. This is a very impressive move by Brian Zane if he can pull it off. The Sideshow now pushing him, punching him in the midsection.
The Sideshow is way too big to take something like that. There's no way Zane can get him up. What's he doing?
Oh, dropped him right onto the top turnbuckle from the top rope. Brian Zane didn't have the extra strength that it took to take Sideshow over.
No, I mean, they both just kind of fell. Sideshow's now taking back over, and match shouldn't take long. If Sideshow actually wants to win this, he should be able to beat him probably in the next 30 seconds or so.
There drops a leg one more time. We've seen if he hits this, it is all over for Brian Zane.
Zane's so far away from that corner.
It's the Freakton bomb. Oh, he just nailed the young man right in the midsection. That is it. Hook the leg, 2, 3. Referee Mark Watson, the winner of this match. Sideshow.
I can't believe Sideshow, who looks like he's put on about 10 pounds, just flew halfway across the ring. Zane's got to have a broken rib out there, at least 1 or 2.
Oh, now Sideshow, as we have just heard, has been talking for weeks now, actually about having to kill this young man, and he is just beating him down in the ring. Another leg drop and another one. This sadistic clown.
This is actually pretty enjoyable.
What are you talking about? How is it enjoyable? He's already won the match. Referee Mark Watson should be doing something to get this out of here.
Let me see. He's already won the match. So what? This is entertaining me. In fact, when I get in the back, I'm going to pay Sideshow some extra money just for entertaining me tonight.
Sideshow going up top one more time.
Give him another one, Show!
He's got the Freakton madness going tonight. Sets himself up on the top turnbuckle. Fans chanting, they want to see this. They want to see the death of Brian Zane.
Well, I guess Portland does have a little bit of taste.
Again, he hits another Freakton bomb. Brian Zane is completely motionless in the ring. A few twitches of the leg. Derek, this is sadistic. Sadistic.
Sideshow's not even done. Why is he putting him in the corner?
He's setting him up. Sideshow is He's coming outside the ring, Derek. I'm not sure if he's done.
Hey, Show, did you need your clown nose? No? Guess not. Oh, sorry.
He's looking underneath the ring for something.
Oh, he found a chair.
No, he has found a folding chair. And poor Brian Zane. Look at Zane in the corner. The young man from the University of Oregon, he looks like he's been taking a boring history class. He is so out.
Well, he's playing about as well as Joey Harrington. He went to the Detroit Lions, but I don't think we're going to have to worry about Brian Zane anymore. He's already got a couple broken ribs out there, and I'm pretty sure he's about to have his skull cracked in.
Now, Sideshow, he's saying that he's got to. He says he's got to. Now, see, this is where Sideshow just is so tormented in himself. He says he should. He's going up. He's not going to bring that chair down from up top.
Awesome. I mean, Sideshow is a man, instead of like the conglomerate where there's multiple members of the conglomerate, Sideshow has multiple managers in his head that tell him what to do, and some of them want to see him actually crack Brian Zane's skull.
He could break the young man's face apart. Brian Zane is motionless, his head against the second turnbuckle.
And these people want to see it.
Sadistic. Sideshow, look at him. He's saying, look at the eyes on this man.
What do you mean you can't?
He is down here in the, what is he? Look at him in the corner. He's crying.
What an idiot.
He is crying. He is not an idiot.
He's
tormented.
Idiot. He's an idiot. That's the reason that I haven't offered him a contract, because could you imagine the Full of the Butcher and Sideshow as a team and how brutal they could be? But I can't deal with someone like that. I mean, the guy doesn't even have any winning spirit. He just cares about getting hit.
Let me explain Sideshow to you. His gimmick was a killer clown, and all he wanted was punishment. He could not get enough punishment. And in the ring, he would ask for guys to lay it in, and then he'd ask for them to lay it in harder, and then harder, and they would. It was really a terrific gimmick. And then for his interviews, we would just give him a scenario, and off he would go. Totally creative on his own. A guy we probably should have done more with here in Portland Wrestling. Maybe next time. So we're going to show you what he said was a PSA against Brian Zane, which showed between weeks on Portland Wrestling before his next matchup with Brian Zane. And then another interview, and we'll get back to that.
Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, TV land. And I wanted to come out here and do a little, a PSA, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I keep on thinking I have reoccurring dreams of a locker and Brian Zane being thrown into it. And I don't know, I felt like I zigged when I should have zagged, you know? And it's every night you know that when you before you go to sleep and you're awake and sleeping, you got that little, I just keep on seeing that and seeing his face and that little tear rolling down his cheek, and it makes me sad. And well, I wanted to make it up to Zane. If you're listening, buddy, we're gonna have another match, and I think you do have what it takes. You do have the Cajones, yeah. And so next week, I believe, I don't know. I have my times all mixed up these days. You know, I don't even know if I'm coming or going. And well, Zane, you know, we're gonna do it again, but this time, I want you to, you know, kick it up a few notches. Bam! Just like Emerald. He's so funny. And well, I'll tell you what. If you don't do it, you know, if you don't get the job done, I'm sorry. You're basically your neck is in the noose. You're in some hot water. So I don't know. See what you can do. I'll pray for you to all the gods, not just the one, not just the two, but all of them, that you can get the job done. That you can do what it takes. Welcome to Sideshow's dark side of the tent. Well, actually, it's more like a boiler room. But as you can see, we got a panel of wonderful guests, and we also could you please? Hey, I'm trying to do a TV show here. That's right. I agree with you. I can't work with this. Quiet on set! Look at this. Come here. I want to show you something here. Don't talk anymore. Okay? Okay? Just gonna take this. No more talking. I'm doing all the talking. I am the master, for crying out loud. Ask all these guys right here. Ladies and gentlemen, today is your lucky day, for I'm going to shank Brian Zane. What was I? Say that again? Wait, we got one of... What? That is a good idea. What if I did it not in here, but in the ring in front of everybody? Then they would know. Yeah, no. They would know who the master is. Right here. No. So, yeah, no, wait. I can't wait that long, though. I can't. Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. I have to wait. I have to wait till in the ring. It's your lucky day, Brian. You get to live for a few minutes longer.
So after 2 weeks of promos, it was time to put them back in the ring against each other. Brian Zane versus Psydsho The Killer Clown.
This match is scheduled for one fall. Weighing in at 240 pounds from the dark side of the tent, Psydsho. His opponent at 205 pounds from Eugene, Oregon, Brian Zane.
There he is, running to the ring. Young Brian Zane. Only been in the wrestling business a couple of months now. Look at Psydsho here delivering this noses collection to Jim Valley. We'd like to congratulate Jim Valley on winning an Edward R. Murrow Award. Jim, terrific. Great to hear your success here up at Cairo Radio.
You know something, I owe it all to Portland Wrestling. You know something, later today I'm going to get a national award, but you know something? Nothing beats these dead clown noses. That's what I want to say right there.
There you go. There's the bell. Brian Zane, who has Paul Isadora. He's run into some tough opponents here in his first foray into pro wrestling.
I'll tell you what, the report card on Brian Zane, I think, is this. The one-loss record, you're not going to give him flying colors, but you got to give him the very good grades for being courageous and stepping in the ring there with anybody, even when the odds are stacked against him.
Well, they are stacked big against him tonight because Psydsho, the sadistic clown, the clown killer, I'm not sure what he is. He is looking forward to this matchup. When I asked him prior to the matches tonight, he just sat and laughed.
Psydsho is a pain addict. He is addicted to pain. And every time he comes here to Portland Wrestling, he's not about winning or losing for the past few months now. It's all about getting his fix. It's all about getting that rush of getting beaten down, and that's what he's looking for.
And you can see right there, he let Brian Zane up just so they could get in the ring and hook up so Zane could put the armbar on. Psydsho is smiling as he puts it on. Pounds down, it invites him to list the forearms down on the shoulder, but he's had enough. That's the part about Psydsho that's so hard to understand. He's a very conflicted man.
You know something, if he was a clown in the circus, he would have been fired long ago for trying to get the elephants to step on him. That's the kind of guy that Psydsho is.
Psydsho, Jim, as we just heard, in the ring right now, but just a few minutes, fans. The Portland Wrestling Light Heavyweight Championship will be decided. El Hilo de Chupacabra versus Timothy Thatcher, who you just talked to, Jim. A little bit unusual.
I'll tell you what, almost as unusual as Psydsho, because Brian Zane does not exactly know what to make of Psydsho here. He's puzzled. He's like, what? This guy wants me to beat him up. He's like, okay, I guess I got to give him everything I got. But at the same time, you can tell he's a bit tentative because he's frankly confused.
I
can't blame him.
Yeah. Frankly, I'm confused. I don't understand
I thought you were
Psydsho
Frank
either.
Culbertson. Anyway.
Brian Zane.
DDT.
A DDT. That could do it. This could be his first win. There's a pin. There's one. Didn't quite do it. Last time I remember Brian Zane was when he was coming down from about 16 feet on the choke slam by Paul Isadora. He's faced two of the biggest, toughest men in his wrestling debut. He tells Psydsho to go ahead and put the headlock on. Another DDT, and Psydsho just rolls through it. That's one sick individual.
Tell you what, that is Jake Roberts' dream right there, to let somebody put him in the DDT. And Psydsho is now going out to see the fans, and they've got cookery for Psydsho.
Now Brian Zane says he wants nothing part of this. He's in there for a pro wrestling match. Sideshow's talking about, well, I am not sure what he's handing it to Brian Zane, who's on his knees begging him not to be hit.
Is Emerald Lagasse sitting ringside? Because where did that bakeware come from?
He's asking Brian Zane to hit him over the head.
All right, then.
He's begging him. Brian Zane doesn't know what to do. Brian Zane not able to.
But can you blame him? I mean, he's like, he doesn't understand this whole thing. I mean, I'm confused by it.
The referee has got the okay from Psydsho to allow this to happen. So Zane now, he says he's ready. Sideshow is telling the fans, get this up.
Here comes the windup and the pitch.
Oh, that dented it. Down goes Brian Zane.
Finally, Sideshow so frustrated he had to show him how to do it. Wait, he's Frank. Hey, Frank. Brian Zane's not getting up, and
he's been pulled over by Sideshow. It's all over. Ring the bell. What is wrong with that man? What is wrong with him?
I've never seen anyone celebrate a loss so gleefully.
That is very, very unusual.
Okay, Frank, this match is over. I'll tell you what, after this, why don't I go in the back and see exactly what the hell happened here?
I am not sure. Now he's trying to wake the young man up. Brian Zane from Eugene, Oregon. Has ambitions to be a pro wrestler. His first 3 attempts not successful. Sideshow, this is where you don't understand Sideshow. And he wants the pain, and yet he is actually taking care of the young man and rolling him out of the ring.
Yeah, why don't I go and talk to them after this? Why don't we figure this whole thing out?
What? That is bizarre.
Yeah.
Fans, we'll watch Sideshow help Brian Zane to the back. We'll go to a commercial timeout. We'll be back with our main event, second main event of the night. You've seen the Pacific Northwest Tag Team Championship retained by the Cartel, whether Vinny was here or not, and you will see the El Hijo de Chupacabra versus Timothy Thatcher for the Portland Wrestling Light Heavyweight Championship. A belt right here in front of me. Both men want it bad. Jim, speaking of bad, why don't you get the option to go visit with Sideshow?
Yeah, let's get an answer to exactly what the hell we just saw right after this.
And after that matchup, who better than Jim Valley of Wrestling Observer Live every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Be sure to tune in for that. You get all the wrestling news, some great humor. Jim does a great job. Who better to interview Sideshow and Brian Zane than Jim Valley?
We have just witnessed one of the most bizarre things ever here in Portland wrestling. Fans, it's Jim Valley back with Sideshow and Brian Zane. Sideshow, the masochist that he is, wanted Brian Zane, well, as you say, to kick your ass. He couldn't quite get the job done, and you ended up knocking the kid out.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Jim, let me tell you something. When it comes to this business, you got to really show the cajones, you know what I mean? And that's something you kind of lack, bro. You know what I mean? You couldn't really give what I needed, you know. When you're dancing with Mr. Brownstone, you know, you got to do a little, start out with a little, but a little gets more and more, right? And I need a little bit more and more. And, well, you couldn't really do it, but I feel sorry for you. I know you're, like, just coming into the business, breaking the teeth, or cutting the teeth, really, you know. And I figure, you know, what the heck, I put you over once. It'd be okay, you know. I understand. You tried, couldn't get the job done. It's okay.
Wait. Wait, now hang on. Yeah. Listen. Yeah. Listen, you let me win. You let me beat you? Listen. I may be a rookie and I may have the inexperience, but I don't need your charity.
Wait, can you say that again?
I don't need
charity. Charity. You know, that wasn't any. Hold on to this for a second.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, hold. Yeah, sure, no problem.
Oh! I'm show you Jared, you punk ass. Right here. No. That's your stinking charity. That's called a hurt locker, you monkey punk ass. Charity, dude. Serious.
Fans, stick around. Portland Wrestling will be right back. He just gets crazier and crazier.
You've gone on to have a terrific career in professional wrestling. And part of that involved getting into Ring of Honor. Tell us how that happened and what your roles were there. And then what are you doing now?
Yeah, well, I mean, long story short, a lot of time has passed between my time in professional as a wrestler in Portland wrestling. And from that point, and as time went on, I eventually developed this little YouTube channel called Wrestling With Wregret, which over time it blew up, and it got me noticed and it got me recognition from all sorts of people. And I found out at one point that Delirious, who was booking for Ring of Honor at the time, was a fan of my work. And so I decided to take the onus and I reached out to him and I said, hey, do you need a manager? Because I'm doing that now. Here's my reel. And he said, we don't have really space for managers right now, but I'd love to have you on as kind of an on-air personality where you're hosting like top fives for our TV shows and occasionally doing commentary. And that was kind of where it began. Like it was Death Before Dishonor weekend in Las Vegas in 2019. And I was, I did a little backstage interviewing with the bouncers before that show, and then I hosted my TV segments and stuff, and then it just kind of went from there. And then over time, by the time the original ROH run was done, I was doing backstage interviews, I was doing commentary alongside Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman, and I just had this really cool, real great learning experience. I also did ring announcing one night for like an MCW, a Future of Honor show in Maryland, like that one weekend, but like mostly interviewing and commentary. And that's where I really fell in love with it. Like I did not really see myself being a backstage interview type person for so many years of my career. And then having that experience at ROH for like a year and a half, 2 years I was there. It was such a great just like benefit to me, just teaching me the importance of being more versatile and having more skills and hats you're willing to wear, so to speak. And, something I'm still learning to this day, but it was an incredible experience getting to witness and being amongst some of the best athletes and some of the best performers, of our time, and to be in the same company that shares a great lineage with some of the greats of this generation. I think that's something that I'm extremely proud of. And I'm really glad that the success of my YouTube channel helped give me that opportunity. And it's really made me hungry for more similar opportunities in that field.
And in professional wrestling, and how can fans follow you?
Yeah, well, the best place you can find me is on YouTube, Wrestling With Wregret. 10 years running. It's been a decade of regret. It's the longest job I've ever had, and it's been an incredibly fun ride. Go find me there. It's Regret with a W, by the way, and because I like alliteration. And then, of course, you can find me on X at Z-Man Brian Zane, Instagram at Brian Zane. I also have a t-shirt store at ProWrestlingTees.com. I have a Patreon. I have a Cameo. I'm not hard to find, but I definitely am appreciative of this time here on your show. It's always fun to look back at my missteps as a performer, and just it's great seeing all this kind of come full circle, and that we're having this conversation now. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to relive this very special time in my life and my career.
Brian Zane started in Portland Wrestling, and he's our guest here on Portland Wrestling 2000's YouTube channel right here. Be sure to subscribe, like the channel, and check out Wrestling With Regret with Brian Zane. It was great to have Brian Zane here on Portland Wrestling 2000s. As I said, be sure to subscribe and like the channel so you don't miss a single moment of action. And speaking of action, it's time for our big announcement. Thanksgiving's coming up, and after all the food has been eaten And after your belly is completely full, it's time for tradition. It's pro wrestling. No, not this pro wrestling. But Adam Thornstowe, Luster the Legend, Vinny Massaro, Big Ugly J.D. Bishop, Paul Isadora. Wrestling like this.
Give me the strength to change what I can, the power to try what I can, the ignorance not to play the plan. Give me the strength to change what I can, the power to try what I can, the ignorance not to play the plan. Give me the strength to change what I can, the power to try what I can, the ignorance not to play the plan. I want to see your name, all your pockets full of green. Would you give it all away? Did you give it all away? How can you sleep at night? Are you wrong? Are they right? What can you do about it? What will you do about it? Give me the strength to change what I can, the power to try what I can, the ignorance not to play the plan. Give me the strength to change what I can, the power to try what I can, the ignorance not to play the plan. Deserve what you had, food on the rocks, food on the bed. Did you reap what you sow? When you reap what you sow? Did you change who you are when you bought that big old car? Did you know yourself before you knew yourself? Give me the strength to change what I can, the power to try what I can, the ignorance not to play the plan. Give me the strength to change what I can, the power to try what I can, the ignorance not to play the plan. Give me the strength to change what I can, the power to try what I can, the ignorance not to play the plan.
That's Thanksgiving night on the Portland Wrestling 2000's YouTube channel. The tradition continues. Pro wrestling, Portland wrestling style. Be sure to subscribe. Don't miss a single moment of action. Portland Wrestling 2000s.